New details tonight on that deadly stabbing out of Moorhead. We now know the name of the victim. Court documents say he's 47-year-old Willard DeGroat and that he was stabbed in the chest and cut in the face. Also new tonight, Connie Frank has been formally charged with second-degree murder in the case. Court documents say DeGroat was an ex-boyfriend and that neighbors could hear the two arguing earlier that night. Documents say Frank admitted to stabbing him. She's due in court again on August 29th. A homeless man is facing charges accused of sexually assaulting a woman at a camp near the Red River. Kedrick Baker faces a laundry list of charges, including gross sexual imposition. Police were called to the bike path between Main Avenue and the MP Avenue Bridge. Documents say they found Baker on top of a woman who was screaming for help. An officer had to use his taser on Baker 3 times. The woman says that he followed her to the bridge and tried to suffocate her. Court records say the woman possibly suffered broken ribs from the incident. In 2021, Baker was also charged with 2 counts of criminal sexual conduct. He remains in custody at the Cass County Jail.